other countries, you see people with disabilities having very key,
roles,
positions and figures. But usually in Africa, I could say in general, especially the part where we live in, people with disabilities are just parked somewhere, and the next thing is it becomes a burden to you yourself, because you have to feed the person, you have to give the person some form of transportation, when in actual part, for that matter, there is only maybe some part of him that is disabled, but the remaining part can function. So I think you have a lot of job to do as far as the area is concerned.
You are very right, Mr. Njai. We have a big task ahead, but then we feel it's not going to be our own only. We are not the only people in this endeavor or in this strive that we're making. We want people to come on board. We want all stakeholders, the communities, the disabled people themselves. Like my colleague said, we are all disabled in one way or the other. So we as a community, we as a nation should come together and fight this menace, and together we understand one thing, that they are human beings like we are, and together if we contribute positively, we can move this nation forward. Yeah, somebody was telling me this morning, just shortly before I come here, that he was at one time at one supermarket and met somebody who is qualified here. He or she had ABE, something like that. And this guy is begging at one supermarket in a wheelchair. And the guy said, you should not be here, you should be employed. Imagine if we have that person working in an institution like Grts. He can do something.
Exactly.
He can be an administrator here, he can do anything. So we should not allow that bulk of people, potential people, who can help in moving this nation forward, sit at a corner and be a sort of a burden on us. You have to provide them food. If they have to travel, you have to carry them on you. If they need medical care, when they can go to on their own to the health center, pay their own bill, and get treated.
Take care of themselves.
If they're hungry, they can use their own money, go buy food stuff for themselves and their families. So together we should get married.
Let me even cut you, but in other countries also, you have some facilities that are created for the disabled. People who can walk can use the stairs. People who cannot walk can also use different facility. So they provide every facility for both the disabled and the non-disabled. So I think also it's high time that we take responsibility and know that as far as there is life, we haven't escaped the disability zone. And it has to start from within ourselves.
You see, Modu, these are some of the issues we are going to discuss with, or we will be discussing with potential employers. We are going to meet employers shortly, sometime this month or next month, and we will be talking about like if you have to build a compound or if you have to build an office, what do you have to put into consideration? Like the issue of people coming into an office and they're in wheelchair. You cannot have these ordinary stairs that you need to build a ramp, or you need to have a lift, for them to be able to access the office, in a very
just
safe
like
manner. Any other person, and they walk at the end of the day, close like another person, they go home very easy. They understand people have those difficulties. And employers maybe don't know that there are facilities like that we can use to help disabled people to work in their companies or organizations, and they work effectively. So it's important that we put all those things into consideration, and hopefully when we meet these employers, those are some of the issues we'll discuss with them. Equally, the issue of providing those sort of services, we know there are gadgets like softwares so that we can provide for people with visual impairment to enable them to do their work effectively. Like if you go to Govi, there are people there who can use a computer, like you and me, access their emails and do their work effectively. So those are things we need to let people know and enlighten them more so that they can accept those people also to be able to get some employment and be economically independent like any other person.
Yeah, I think it's your responsibility, my responsibility, and everybody's responsibility to make sure that disability-related issues and concerns are addressed at every level and provide the services for them, and make sure that institutions and companies employ these people, because they are all going to be as productive as you and I in the workplace. It was the Disability Employment Service people with me on my immediate right, Mr. Idris Korita, who is the project coordinator for the Disability Employment Services. In my immediate left was project officer, Mrs. Teres Colley, who should have made it in the wall of language, but she was too scared. And on my immediate, on the far left is Mr. Seni Kamara, who is the rehabilitation technician at the Social Welfare Department. Bakari Sane, who is doing that wonderful sign language, and he's not a disabled, and he can do that. So you can also do it. I'm your presenter, Mumurinjai. Have a good evening.
Very nice country.
Catching the sun.
Just sitting here doing nothing.
This is precisely what you've been looking for. A vacation in some exotic destination, green and always sunny, amid ever blue skies, navigable rivers, and clean white beaches. Begging for a lazy day, you gotta be in the destination which brings together all these qualities. It's 2013 and time to experience the ultimate break, savoring moments that will stay with you forever. Discover the characterful delight of this smiling coast on the expedition with me, Ibrahima Jata, at this time on GRTS.
From hard news,
I want to direct this question to the FAO.
the Human Interest Weekend Spectrum is the program that spices up your weekend with news, breaking events in and outside the Gambia.
Meet the people who inspire others to think and change the world.
These culminated experiences were able to show anybody in New York that I'm somebody who's tough and I'm able to survive and carry out the work that I'm given. So it was a process, a tough one, but all in all, as I said, with the grace of Allah and with the support of parents and with the confidence of coming from a small country like Gambia and having a lot to prove.
Focus should be in strengthening families to ensure that they keep their children and also vulnerable families.
At this time on GRTS.
asalaamaaleykum mbooloo mi ñoo seetaan ñu ne naa dalal fii si Gambia Radio and Television Services si seen programme yi suñu wér-gu-yaram waaye tey suñu wér-gu-yaram li ñu fas yéene waxtaanee mooy set setal bi nga xam ne dañ ko dee def samedi bu nekk samedi bu ñëwee si weer bu nekk waaye bii nag ñu ngi ko def samedi bi njëkkee si weer bi mu amoon fi kii nga xam moo xam ne mooy Mohamed Riroy Gomez jógee ko National Environment Agency ki ci topp di David Kujawi nga xam ne moo fi toogal sécurité bi mooy police bi ak kii nga xam ne mooy Lamine Luwa Konte jógee ko fii si Brikama Area Council ñu leen a bismillah si programme bi Mohamed time bu nekk dañ dee wax set setal su ne set setal nag ñu dee wax nit ñi pour ñu génn waaye NEA nga xam ne loolu mooy seen taxawaay loolu mooy seen liggéey naka ngeen nekkee di ñaax nit ñi parce que dama ko dee seetlu su ne set setal bu nekk ñeenaa dee génn ñeneen duñ dee génn.
jërëjëf Ramatoulaye sa wax rafet na trop di nuyu suñ mbokk yi di nuyu suñ déglukat yi seen tur ak seen santa